It's Father's Day at Kohl's. Even though Kohl's believes dads deserve more than just one day, Kohl's believes dads deserve to be recognized every day. That's why they have tons of awesome gifts dads are going to love year-round, from outdoor entertaining to team apparel and accessories to watches, baseball hats, and fedoras to activewear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. You'll find all his favorite things at Kohl's. So shop now at Kohl's.com. It's the perfect way to thank all the dads in your life.
This is DJ EFN, co-host of the Drink Champs on the Black Effect Podcast Network. Every week, Nori and I sit down with the most legendary artists, producers, and icons in the music industry and the culture at large. Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, and the list goes on. iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, but don't take my word for it. Find Drink Champs on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Brought to you by Blue Moon. Taste brightness.
This episode is brought to you by Simply by Frito-Lay. These days, you have a lot going on. But now, thanks to Simply by Frito-Lay, you have one less thing to worry about. So kick back and enjoy your favorite Frito-Lay snacks with ingredients to feel good about, like Simply Blue Corn Tostitos, sea salted Ruffles, and even white cheddar Cheetos Puffs. All made with no artificial colors or flavors. Enjoy what you love and look for Simply brand snacks online or at a store near you.
Thanks for listening to the Odd Couple podcast. Be sure to catch us live every weekday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Find your local station for the Odd Couple at foxsportsradio.com or stream us live every day on the iHeartRadio app by searching FSR.
Now let's get this party started.
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio.
All right, it is the Odd Couple. I am Chris. He is Rob. We are coming to you live from the Fox Sports Radio studios. We got Eddie House in the house at the bottom of the hour. He's, of course, an NBA champion and Fox Sports Radio NBA analyst. And you can follow Rob and me on social media. Rob is at Rob Parker FS1 on both Twitter and Instagram. I am at Chris_Broussard on Twitter and Chris Broussard 68 on the gram. All right, Philadelphia 76ers, Atlanta Hawks in the first quarter of their pivotal Game 5. Series is tied at 2 games apiece. It's 21-13. Philadelphia jumps out to the early lead. But
that
Rob,
means nothing, as we saw last night, Chris.
Well,
we talked about last night's game. Remember we were saying if they could get it down, but even with 17 and Harden had no points, we called it that game wasn't over last night.
No, I totally agree. And Rob, and I said this on Undisputed because we addressed it. They asked, are you surprised that Brooklyn came back from a 17-point deficit, with 7 minutes left in the third quarter? And I said this, Rob, look, a 17-point lead isn't what it used to be.
Right.
In today's NBA with the three-point shot, I mean, my goodness, how often are we seeing 18-point leads disintegrate?
We saw it in this game,
Philadelphia,
Chris,
Atlanta,
and it changed everything. 3 or 4 threes, and that 18-point lead is now 12.
Yep.
I mean, you just knocked 12 off. It's 6 points.
Yep, absolutely. Like, I think it almost has to be close to 30 for you to feel like, all right, this is over, like nowadays. So, yeah, this doesn't mean anything. We'll see. It's probably going to end up being a good game if we see Atlanta make a run. All right, Rob, let us go to what was it was a historic performance last night.
It was epic, Chris. Epic. Yeah. It was epic.
It really
was fun to watch. I hadn't seen a good basketball game like that in a long time. I'm dead serious. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, yeah, it was tremendous. And Kevin Durant just flat out spectacular. 49 points. I know he wanted that free throw at the end that he missed, would have gave him 50.
He played all 48 minutes. That might have been because of that, Chris. He played the whole game.
Yeah.
And he was knocking down his free throws, and he missed that one. Yeah, but he would have had a 50-piece.
Yeah, so he goes for 49 points. And here's what's also impressive, Rob. 17 rebounds.
Wow.
10 assists. And here, check this: 3 steals and 2 blocks.
Nah, he
on
balled
16
out.
for 23 shoot. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But give me your take, because I got an interesting take about. To me, it was the tale of 3 stars. We've heard the tale of 2 cities. Well, this was the tale of 3 stars, and I'm going to get into that in a moment. But first, I want to get your take.
Yeah, I get it. Other people contributed and were a part of it. But this was Kevin Durant's night. This is a night that where you can have people change the way they think about you. Because there was a lot of narrative before, Chris. All the LeBron minions were coming out. Now let's see KD without his guy. Let's see if he can elevate and get Brooklyn to, like that whole thing was out there. Now you know what LeBron feels like when he's playing with minions and he doesn't have a team and his guys are out and all that. And Kevin Durant couldn't have written a better story. Not only putting up numbers, but winning. And the end of the game, Chris, in the fourth quarter, like no hesitation whatsoever. I got the ball. I'm dribbling. I'm not giving it up. I'm going to put a 3 in your face. Do you know what I mean? Like I love the way he methodically went after it and was in total control, confidence about what he was doing, the goal that he wasn't going to let his team lose. I mean, Harden had no points at the half. And no Kyrie, and he still stood tall. I was thoroughly impressed, and I've seen Kevin Durant do a lot. Obviously, win some championships, be Finals MVP, but that was a creme de la creme. I mean, that was, as I like to say, Chris, in writing my column for Deadspin, that was suitable for framing because that was great.
Well, you sound like you needed a cigarette after watching that game.
And baby
My
oil.
goodness. Anything else you want to say?
It was one of those nights. It was. We did. Wait a minute. We did win a couple pair of Jordans off of that, but that's something else. We'll get into
you know
that.
what? And
we haven't even.
We got to
mentioned
give him. We got to give him. What is his full name? Biento.
Yes, Biento.
Yeah, Biento. We'll get to him later, but we're gonna give him some props. One of our callers and longtime listeners. But anyway. Yeah, of course. I mean, I second everything you said about KD. And the thing is this, most of the time, Rob, but for a year, maybe 2, I think, in Oklahoma City when Russell Westbrook was hurt. And I think they got beat in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, Oklahoma City. Check that out for me, Rob G. But the year Westbrook was out and Oklahoma City, it was strictly KD trying to carry him, and they got beat in the second round. For the most part, though, Rob, we've always seen him with another MVP, whether it was Russell Westbrook for the first part of his career, and then, of course, Steph, and you could throw in Clay, who was a great player, for the second for the 3 years in Golden State. And then this year, obviously, you had Kyrie and Harden. And so a lot of times, as great, we all know how great Kevin Durant is. But there always, there's kind of been that just because we haven't seen it a ton. Well, what will he do when all the attention's on him? And like you said, last night he showed it's just one game. Right. But he was phenomenal.
It was an important game. Yeah.
And I thought Nash made a good point that he said, look, we know he can do that. But to do it last night, you know what I mean? Like,
right, when
because
guys
can have a bad game.
When you really need it, right?
You just have a bad night.
He could have had
to go
a
out and do it, yes, the night when it's absolutely needed was impressive. And Rob, we're not gonna get into the whole is he the best player in the world? Let's play it. Let it play out. Obviously, I mean, he's got to be in the pole position, and but he separated himself. Forget the points and the rebounds and the assists and all the other things I mentioned. That was great. But, Rob, you know what separated him from some guys in the conversation? Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, heck, Giannis. He played 48 minutes.
He sure did.
He played every moment of that game. And those 3 guys I just mentioned couldn't do that. They'll never do that. I know I looked up their number. They've played some overtimes and, played more minutes than 48 in overtime. And they'll never do what he did as far as going all night long.
Hey, you know what? You know what Kevin Durant said after the game when they told him that he played all 48 minutes? Did I do that?
That was a nice one. Good job, Rob. That's your best joke in like 17 months.
Wow.
Excellent. Good job.
I've been in the drought then.
No, but so there to me, as I said, Rob, is a tale of 3 stars. That's the first star. We know how great Durant was. The second star, James Harden. And look, I'm sorry. People want to just look at the box score and say, oh, he was 1 for 10. He only had 5 points, and say he was trash. I'm sorry. I don't think you know what you were watching. And I'm not going to sit here and act like he had a great game. He didn't. He wasn't even a shell of himself, Rob. I don't know what percentage, 20%, 15% of himself was, I mean, he was able to do nothing. All his shots were long jumpers for the most part. Because he, didn't want to put too much strain on that hamstring. Defensively, he was matador defense most of the night, except for when he shut down Giannis on the post. He played a little better defense in the second half. But I'm going to tell you, James Harden's performance was inspiring. So the tale of 1 star, KD, is phenomenal. The tale of the second star, Harden, is inspiring. Rob, 46 minutes? He played 46 minutes on a bad hamstring, and you haven't played in what, 2 weeks, whatever it was?
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're right that he was even out there and gutted it out.
Yes.
Chris, it's something, and we all get caught up. People get caught up on stats. His presence and handling the basketball was all they needed him for last night. Would it have been nice? He had a couple in the fourth quarter that could have extended the lead to 7, Chris, with a 3, and he missed them. It would have been nice if he knocked down 1 or 2 of those in the fourth, but he didn't. But you're right. He has to get some credit, as Charlie Hayes would say.
Nah, you're right. And you mentioned it, the ball handling. Him being able to just run the offense. Who's going to run it? Mike James or Kevin Durant would have had to do it all 4 quarters. And I don't think this is not a slight on Durant, but if he had to do that all 4 quarters, Rob, I don't know that he goes for 49. Just because, I mean, that's a lot to ask of anybody. And so in the fourth quarter, they gave it to Durant. Harden stepped aside and said, go to work, big fella. But for the first 3 quarters, Harden was basically bringing the ball up. Harden was running the offense. Harden had 8 assists and 6 rebounds.
Right.
He had 2 wonderful dimes, backdoor cuts by KD and Joe Harris during the run that got them back in the game. And, Rob, his only bucket actually started the run. It was like a 17-4 run or whatever it was. They were down 17. And he goes and hits the floater off the glass from the left side and then got fouled and hits a free throw, so 3-point play. But that started the run. So I just think Harden was inspiring. And I think anybody that just thinks he was out there and he was garbage, I just don't think you know what you were watching.
Yeah.
Because he was important.
There were other elements. It's just that, even with all that, it's hard not to look at KD because at the end, Chris, it was still nip and tuck. I mean, Milwaukee tied the game, right? Remember they had the back-to-back baskets to tie it at 104, right? The game wasn't hanging in the balance. So, and I get it. When a guy makes big shots at the end, you remember the one he made with the 3 where he's falling down? I mean, they were just...
Oh, and he was the superstar. Yeah, I'm just saying Harden was inspiring.
No, there were other people.
He was the superstar. But here's the third star, Rob. Giannis. And look, he's young. He's only in his 8th year. He's got time to redeem himself. But his performance was that puts a damper on his legacy to this point. That was one of those games that defines you negatively. Now, if he comes out in Game 6 and does the opposite, then okay, you can erase that and you win Game 7. We don't even think about that game. But for now, it was bad. And it was bad because you're the defensive player of the year last year. You're first team All-NBA defense this year. You are the same position as Kevin Durant. Rob, back in the day, it's just automatic. You guard each other.
Right.
Back in the day, you a small forward, I'm a small forward. Let's do this. Dr. J and Larry Bird guarded each other, and they got into fights. And you are all that, and you see this man lighting y'all up like he's a firecracker, and you don't say, give me that?
Right. I need a piece of that. I got to stop this. He's killing us. Hey, nice job. Nice trying to stop him. I need to go get some of that. And if he's going to get it, Chris, he's going to get it over me.
Right.
That's it.
Thank you.
He might still get it, but he's going to get it over me.
Absolutely. I talked to a former teammate of Larry Bird because we saw LeBron do it. Go give me Derrick Rose, a freaking point guard. Give him to me. We've seen Michael Jordan do it. We've seen Kawhi Leonard do it with Luka late in that series, and even Donovan Mitchell
that
at
helped,
points.
right? It made a difference.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I get it. If you don't want to guard him to 40 minutes, okay, I get that. I'm just saying in the fourth quarter, when the game and the series might be on the line, you got to take him. And some of it's on Budenholzer, Rob, who is, if they lose this next game, I'm sorry. I like Bud. I think he's a good coach, but it's time to move on. Because for him not to put Giannis on KD, come on.
No, for them to allow KD to have his way without making it an adjustment. Right. They bring another guy. We gotta alter that. And we did say, Chris, what did we talk about also yesterday? Was that the refereeing was going to be different, right? They wouldn't allow them to roughhouse KD the way they did in Milwaukee. And it was called differently.
Right. And so, but Giannis, he said, look, at the post-game press conference, I want the challenge. Okay. Well, you should have taken it in the fourth quarter, but okay. If you're going to take it in game 6, then more power to you. But I was telling you, I talked to a former teammate of Larry Bird's this morning. He said, look, Larry, and we know Larry couldn't guard anybody. But if there were, and he didn't say this hypothetically. He said, but there were times if somebody was just going off on us, Larry's coming into the huddle like, what is this? I got him. Just from pure heart, Rob. I got him. Like you said, if you're going to do it over me.
Right, and I'll accept it. I'll accept it if you're that guy and you do it over me, and I just got to be like, okay, man, he's a baller. And, Giannis paid him the ultimate respect after the game, Chris. But it would have been, to me, if Giannis would have guarded him, I think it would have meant more. Do you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, Giannis is a great defender. I mean, his reputation is not undeserved. He is a great defender, and his length alone, Rob, because he can move, his length alone would have made it different for Kevin Durant. There's no doubt about it. So, and then, of course, he dropped the pass with 15 seconds left by Chris Middleton. Could have been a layup or a dunk. And then, of course, he didn't expose James Harden in the post. Harden just said, look, I don't need help. He's a half foot taller than me, but I got this. And so, yeah, it was a bad night for Giannis. We'll see if redemption is nigh. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. In last night's pivotal Game 5, were you more impressed by the play of KD or disappointed by Giannis? We'll continue the conversation with you next. It's The Odd Couple, Chris and Rob, Fox Sports Radio.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, this is Jason McIntyre. Join me every weekday morning on my podcast, Straight Fire with Jason McIntyre. This isn't your typical sports pod pushing the same tired narratives down your throat every day. Straight Fire gives you honest opinions on all the biggest sports headlines, accurate stats to help you win big at the sportsbook, and all the best guests. Do yourself a favor and listen to Straight Fire with Jason McIntyre on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever been on an off-road adventure? One where you have to travel highways, dirt roads, and maybe even climb a few rocks? If this is the type of adventure you're seeking this year, The 2021 Ford Bronco Sport is the SUV that'll get you there. This 4x4 is perfect for any trip and has 7 available GOAT modes, as in go over any type of terrain. The terrain management system includes 5 standard GOAT modes: sand, slippery, sport, eco, and normal. So you can get wherever you need to go and explore beyond the paved path. It was created to help make your journeys easy, comfortable, and possible. It features a high-performance off-road stability suspension system, available off-road capabilities, and available advanced 4x4 with a twin-clutch rear drive unit. You can choose from multiple exterior colors and add-ons like an interior bike rack or rooftop tent to personalize your SUV to fit all of your adventure needs. The 2021 Ford Bronco Sport is your gateway to the great outdoors. Book your next adventure and check out the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. Built wild, built Ford proud.
Chris, what's the social situations you're most uncomfortable with?
Any situation where I'm with you.
No, really? For me, it's when you run into a dude but totally draw a blank on his name.
Right. Sometimes it's tough for me with my wife's work colleagues. Lots of doctors, not everyone's sports fans, so I get kind of quiet.
You? Quiet?
I don't like formal situations. I like Miller time.
For sure, Miller Lite is brewed for those times when you can just hang out and have a good time.
And Miller Lite only has 96 calories, so it's less filling.
It's not a seltzer. It's not an IPA. It's just great beer. So next time you're getting beers with friends, make it Miller time. Luckily, you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer, or go to MillerLite.com/odd couple to find delivery options near you.
It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Here's Something Good from the Seneca Women Podcast Network and iHeartRadio is a great way to start your day on the positive side of life. We're bringing you inspiration, advice, and practical ideas. So here's something good for today, brought to you in partnership with Bounty Paper Towels. Want to feel better about your home? Want a home that not only looks clean, but is clean and safe? Then check out our episode on home hygiene. It has excellent advice from a doctor who's an infectious disease specialist. And you'll also get some great cleaning tips from Bounty Paper Towels. They not only make cleaning more convenient, but they also leave your surfaces cleaner than used dishcloths, and they're disposable. For great advice and tips, listen to the Here's Something Good podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, it's the Odd Couple, Chris and Rob, coming to you live from the Fox Sports Radio studios. And if you're dealing with a dead battery, folks, head on over to AutoZone. That's right. That's the only place you need to go. It's America's #1 battery destination, and they offer free battery testing and free battery charging. So next time you're having battery trouble, that's where you go. AutoZone. It's your battery solution and America's #1 battery destination. 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in. Who was more impressive, KD, or what stood out to you more, KD's greatness or Giannis's struggles last night? Your turn to weigh in.
All right, let's kick it off with Keith in D.C. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
How you guys doing, man? Thanks for taking my call. This is all about Kevin Durant. I'm from D.C. This ain't nothing that we don't see down here at Valley Green, down here at the Recreation Center. This is what Kevin Durant do. This is what he do. This is what he doing.
Y'all ain't producing Kevin Durant's every year, so stop it. I know they can hoop in Prince George's County, but
KD.
slow down.
Not no KD. He's one in a kind, brother.
Okay, that's
He's
all.
He's fine
I'm
wine. Ain't nobody coming out of D.C. like that. But Rob Parker, I blame Giannis. I blame Giannis. The coach, you could double. Brook Lopez shooting threes, things they ain't supposed to do. No, I blame Giannis. And here's why. You had a chance to tie the game. Chris Middleton shook Kevin Durant in the end and put the ball right in his belly. Where do you want the ball?
Nah, you couldn't put it anywhere. It was right there, 100%.
It was right there, Rob. I blame Giannis, Rob. I'm with you. I know you're going to be real with this. Sorry, Chris. Giannis jacked the game he choked. I'm sorry.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate the
I
call.
don't know how you didn't say. I'm not ripping. You know what I'm saying, right? Did you say that? Like, did you blame Giannis? Keith just wanted to be on your side.
Right.
He just wanted to snuggle up to you all cuddly and all that.
Is that what it was? All right.
I mean, he just making junk up. I'm with you, right? That's right, Giannis. It was all about him. What?
You
just
know, I
wanted to
talked
get
about
up under your shoulder. That's all.
I talked about KD and
I
how
know.
great he was.
That's what I'm saying.
And, I mean, Giannis
Keith.
obviously didn't at the end do what he needed to do, but KD was spectacular. All right, Eddie in Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Great show as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was just KD was just like the dude said. It was just like fine wine. Watching that performance last night, man, it was amazing. Like, and the one thing that I don't think I've heard people mention is that I love how the refs let it play. The refs were not involved at all during the end, which was great to see.
No, I agree with that because too often we've seen refs get in the way, and you're right.
Yeah, and then one thing I want to say that it reminded me a little bit of when LeBron did it in 2007 in the Game 5 versus the Pistons, where he took over. Like, he took over that game and put the Cavaliers on his shoulders and ended up losing to the Spurs eventually.
Chris and I covered that game. We were both in Detroit. That was an unbelievable night.
And with all due respect to KD, because what he did last night, like I said, one of the best I've seen. It wasn't what LeBron did, though.
No, LeBron scored every point.
It wasn't
25 out of 27
Right,
or something,
that's not
Chris.
to take anything.
And I'll tell you one, I still
29
remember the one
something.
when I knew the Pistons were in trouble. Chris, you might remember this real quick. Chris Webber hit a three-point play to put the Pistons up by 3. LeBron comes, he's deep. He's in Akron, and he banks in the 3 to tie the game. Do you remember that?
I remember the bank, yes.
That was it, but it came after a Chris Webber three-point play. Because I thought to myself, getting ready to write a column, Webber coming home, playing for the Pistons.
Right.
Like, I had the storyline. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was ready to go. We got another call. Let's go to Jim in Ohio. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jim?
It's my party, and I'll block it if I want to.
Hold on, Jim. Here we go.
Don't encourage him, Jim.
Here we go. My Twitter, and I'll block if I want to. Block if I want to. Block if I want to. You would block, too, if they tried to dish you. Oh, yeah.
My.
Jim, where are you?
Look at Jim. Look.
That's
Jim's
all he wanted?
Dead. Jim just fell out after that. Jim's just gone. All right, we got our man Eddie House coming up in a moment, but first.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
Our man is never MIA. He's an NBA champion, Fox Sports Radio NBA analyst, the one, the only Eddie House. What's up, brother?
Yo.
What's happening?
Good to have you on, man.
Man, appreciate it, man.
It's so much to get to. Let's get right to it. We were saying earlier, because obviously Philadelphia's got like a 14-point lead or so on Atlanta in the second quarter. And Eddie, a 17-point lead, which is what Brooklyn overcame yesterday. Atlanta overcame 18 points in the game before. A 17-point lead just isn't what it used to be when you played. I know y'all shot threes, but now the prominence of the three-pointer, 17 points does not make me feel like a game is over. Where are you at on that?
I'll tell you, like, the game is over if you play defense. If you play defense and get hands in shot, it's tough to make contested threes. Now, if you're giving up open threes, the door is open for that. But the volume of threes that are being shot. Now, this is the thing. You'll see possessions in this game. You'll see them in every game that's played in these playoffs, to where you might see 5 straight three-point shots taken in the game. That's how a team can come back. If I got a 17-point lead, I get a stop on one end, I'm not coming down jacking up a quick three, or I'm not jacking up a contested three. I'm going to make sure I get a good shot, and a good shot usually tends to you having defensive balance on the back end. You guys are already set. It's not in transition where guys are trying to pick up guys and you're in rotation. So I think that's the reason why guys are every team has fallen in love with the three, And so it's easy to come back if you're jacking them up and somebody's helping you come back by jacking threes up and not utilizing the clock or possession how they should.
That makes sense. That's a good point.
Now, Eddie, we all know Kevin Durant's a great player. Did last night do anything, or did you see something you hadn't seen, or, for a guy to live up to the moment, with his troops kind of down and out and Harden out there, not the James Harden he's used to, and for him to play the way he did that do anything for you or change your mind or remind you of how good Kevin Durant is?
No, all it did was just validate it and stamp it. We all know how great somebody can be. What they say, stars are made in the regular season, but your legend is made in the postseason. And this was one of those postseason games that, I think he had to have. I almost see it on his face last night. He was almost pissed because he didn't get his 50 points. He missed that one free throw, even though they got the game. But if you see his face, he's kind of upset at the win because he wanted that 50 because 50 looks so much better, 50, 17, and 10 than 49, even though it's 1 point. But 50 is 50, and we all know that. But I think, just being on the glass the way he was, 17 rebounds at the end of the day, that is an effort. That's an effort stat. And that's something that where I want the ball. And it's not just I want the ball to score, but I want the ball so we have possession and they don't get opportunity. So he didn't prove anything to me per se or show me anything that I didn't know he already had, man. I think we just forgot about him because he was hurt, but he's reminding everybody.
Eddie, if you were on the Bucks or a team with Giannis or a guy like that, and a guy at his position, a guy basically the same size, is lighting you up, and you got the best defender in the league, defensive player of the year last year and all that, and he doesn't say, give him to me, I got him, or the coach doesn't say, like, what are you, in your mind, are you deflated like, yo, what? Or even go tell him, yo, you got to get on Giannis, you got to get on KD, like any of that?
I think that's what will happen. I mean, at the end of the day, you have your game plan. You got to stick to it. But sometimes the game plan goes out the window. You might come in with a certain game plan. Guy get the cookie, and we like, hey, that's out the window. We got to double him now. As far as Giannis, I think that it almost like he don't want them problems. He didn't want them problems. I mean, because at the end of the day, it was perfect for those scenarios to happen more than once. They weren't getting stops. They weren't able to stop KD. They had Middleton on him. They had PJ Tucker. They're shooting over him. He's shooting over them every single time. Like, they got good defense, but he's just looking over the top of them. So the contest isn't really a contest, if you will. But it just seems to me from game 1 or 2, it's like he don't want those problems, man. And I think that's where he needs to step up and, hey, this is how I got to help my team. I got to slow this guy down. And if you get cooked doing that, we know that he's the best player. Didn't Giannis already admit that? Say this is, he's the best player. So if you get cooked, you got nothing to lose, right?
I'm wondering with that as a teammate though, when you see, it's almost like you see your father get beat up or something. I don't know, but does it deflate you that our man won't go guard him? Our man don't want none. He's our guy. He's our best player. He don't want none.
Well, it might be too. Could P.J. Tucker be a guy that's saying, no, I got this because this is what I do.
Well, Middleton was on him a lot at the end. I know there was some switches and stuff.
Middleton was on him a lot too, but P.J. Tucker as well. And so maybe I have no idea. I think regardless, you're a defensive player of the year. You're a 2-time MVP. You are the face of the franchise. It's you versus him. We've seen it, Bird versus Magic. We've seen, Kobe and whoever he has to play.
Drexler.
When every Jordan Drexler, all these matchups. I'm gonna say I watched one of the best Game 7s that I can remember ever being a part of. Well, it was the best that I ever was a part of, but ever seeing was Paul Pierce and LeBron James in the Game 7 going for 50. Those. It was like, I'm guarding you. Okay, well, I'm going to guard you. Well, you can't stop me. Why? You can't stop me. It was one of those things, and I think that's what, that to me, that elevates your teammates. To when that ball gets kicked out, he does make that shot. Or this guy got to get that stop. He does get that stop because the leader is out there showing the way for you.
Hey, did the air go out of Phoenix with the news about Chris Paul and, the protocol and people not being sure of his availability or what's going on? What's the scuttlebutt you're hearing in Arizona?
Well, it's funny. I was listening to, all the talk this morning and this afternoon, and really what it is they wanted to go 7. They needed to go 7 games. They want this to go as long as they can. They're happy that Kawhi got hurt, okay, number one. And people are like, oh, man, well, that's a break. And, hey, we can't be mad at that because we've seen, we've had our fair share of ups and downs and this, that, and the other. But really they just wanted to go 7 games to give it more days. That's all they're looking for. They're looking for more days for that series to go on. That way it gets them closer and closer for Chris Paul to be out there. It's not Chris Paul is hurt. He has to go through the protocol, but there will be a certain amount of days that he has to go through it.
Right.
So they just want to chip away at those days, and that's really what it is. They just want to see they want to see it go 7 games, and hopefully if they have to play the Clippers, if the Clippers get by, they don't want a Clipper with Kawhi. That's
of course
really what the talk's been about. That's
Eddie,
all the talk's been about.
Without Kawhi, I mean, you might be the never say never type, but how much of a chance do the Clippers have without Kawhi if he doesn't play the rest of this series?
Oh man, it's looking bad. I mean, you need him. I mean, he made statement plays. I mean, that dunk when he came through, those are statement plays. Those are plays that resonate throughout the arena, throughout each one of those benches, throughout the coach. Those are plays that those are the elevating plays that where superstars are superstars. You know what I mean? And as good as Paul George has been, this is almost a coming out moment for him. It's like, hey, all right, can you really do this? We've seen you do it in Indiana, and the excuse was you was going against that big 3, and It's going to be tough to get around them, but you still balled out. Well, you got to ball out now. They don't have no big 3 over there. You're going to have to be the man and put these guys on your back. And what I would like to see him not do, I like him when he's aggressive, but not defer at the end of the game. When it's time to go, not be looking to make passes, even though it might be the right pass to somebody else. I think that's when you have to understand time clock situation and be like, you know what, I got to go to work right now.
All right, that's our man, Eddie House. Great stuff,
Eddie,
as always,
appreciate
brothers.
it, buddy.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Right on. You guys take care, man.
Yep. Later. All right, we have a special shop talk coming up. We've always said we have the best fans in all of sports media.
No doubt.
And we got the proof coming up. Keep it locked. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
Summer is finally here, and it's time to get out and enjoy the water, hike, bike, run, and to be back with friends. But life with the hassles of contacts and glasses slows you down. The Eye Center is giving you a summer of freedom thanks to Eye LASIK with iDesign 2.0 from Dr. Boutros. LASIK at the Eye Center is even more affordable with huge savings and 0% financing. Join the thousands of people with clear vision thanks to Dr. Boutros, one of the top surgeons in Virginia with 5 locations. Schedule your free LASIK consultation at theeyecenter.com today.
With how much we rely on our devices, it's easy to forget about the hardware we're born with. Take ears. Like fingerprints, your ears are totally unique. Too bad your earbuds aren't. Unless you've got Ultimate Ears Fits true wireless custom fit earbuds. Ultimate Ears Fits offer premium sound and all-day comfort. Their groundbreaking Lifeform technology guarantees a perfect fit in only 60 seconds. Just put in the earbuds, connect to the app, and watch as the purple LEDs form the earbuds to your unique shape. With 8 hours of continuous playback on a single charge and up to 20 hours with the charging case, Ultimate Ears Fits are the perfect choice for listening to your favorite music and podcast all day long without pain or discomfort. For a limited time, get 15% off above the current offer of your pair of Ultimate Ears Fits True Wireless Earbuds at ue.com/fits. Just use promo code FITS at checkout. That's 15% off the current offer with promo code FITS at ue.com/fits.
All right, it's the Odd Couple, Chris and Rob, on a Worship Wednesday. We are coming to you live from the Fox Sports Radio studios. You got something to say?
Yeah, are you watching the game?
Yes.
Ben Simmons just missed, I don't know, he had like 4 free throws. 3 of them were horrible, Chris. I just can't believe. Like, he looked like a guy who came off the street who hadn't played basketball. Like the shots are so bad. I just can't get over how, like the practice time and get a form. And it's not like he's a 7-foot and they just don't have a feel for the ball. It's shocking. But anyway, let's go.
Well, it's beyond shocking. It's disappointing. Because he's been in the league long enough.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't get it. Like,
come on, man. I mean,
just missed the dunk.
Jason Kidd was a horrible shooter. He couldn't have been any worse of a shooter than Jason Kidd, Rob, when he entered the league.
And he got better, Jason Kidd.
Yes, Kidd became like a great 3-point shooter around the end of his career. Like, the last few years of his career. And so if he put in that work, Ben should put in that work. And you keep getting beat in the playoffs in series that people feel you should win, that should wake you up. And so the fact that it hadn't happened is disappointing. All right, so Rob G, I'm going to let you kind of share the whole story because we got love for our man Biento.
Yeah, our man Biento in Florida. Now, America, if you don't remember who Biento is, he's the guy who last Friday said, I'm going to bet the Odd Couple Jordans that the Bucks are going to win 4 straight after being down 0-2. And courtesy of our man Kevin Durant, the Odd Couple won that Jordan bet. Now, Biento was supposed to come on this segment to talk about it. He was very excited. I don't know if he got a little stage fright, but he ain't picking up his phone.
He must have stage fright.
But
or maybe something happened.
But we hope he's okay.
Hopefully everything.
We hope he's okay.
Yes.
But we always say we got the best listeners in all of sports media. If it was me and I made a bet like that on the radio, I just wouldn't, call in. I wouldn't tweet.
You would have
ever.
disappeared. No doubt.
You know what he did?
I'd have found a new favorite show.
He DM'd me first thing this morning saying, hey, where do I send these sneakers to?
Wow.
And I said,
that was before we even had a chance to talk about it, Rob, or tweet about it or anything.
Exactly. Right. So instead, I know you guys are very particular about your shoes, he just Venmo you guys the money. And the funny story is, Chris Broussard, because he doesn't handle his own finances, sent us the wrong Venmo account. And Biento sent $200
to some other guy,
to another Chris Broussard.
That was my cousin in Opelousas, Louisiana.
But you know what? Shout out to the other Chris Broussard, because that guy, I guess, like our Chris Broussard, is a man of the Lord, and he sent that money back. And he's, hey man, it's all good. Hopefully, it's going to the right person next time.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a great
story. But that
story.
Biento, that is pretty.
We got love for Biento.
We do, no doubt. And we're going to send him Fox Sports Radio polo and maybe some other odd
couple gear.
Yes.
We send him a nice haul, Rob. Because I
am.
I was so impressed with him reaching out and being true to his word and paying his bet. I almost didn't want to take the money. Almost.
That's you.
Shouldn't have taken it.
What you mean shouldn't have taken it?
What you mean shouldn't have?
But here's why, Alex. I want to share. It's a lesson to be learned. See, Biento made a mistake. He made the same mistake that Martin Weiss often makes.
Yep.
And you get out and you're talking loud and you ain't saying nothing, and you feel like you gotta be this macho man and make a bad bet. You end up making a bad bet. And I want Biento to learn a lesson from this. I want that to be the last bad bet he ever makes.
He'll think about it next time.
I felt like if I didn't take the money, then he feels like he got away with it. And he's doing it more often, and he may end up losing more money down the road.
See,
so
that's a good way of looking at it. This feels like a father.
Oh, my gosh.
Alex, this feels like a father knows best TV.
Yes.
You guys make me sick.
Yes.
All right, hold up.
Yes.
First off,
I got
CB.
love for Biento.
You could have said, Biento, you learned your lesson. Number one, don't come at the
He did learn
best.
his lesson,
hold
though.
up, my guys.
All right, go ahead.
You got CB, you're the guy that's like, you know what? Hey, Rob G, I know I did a read for the toothbrush. Where's my toothbrush? It's like, bro, you can afford a toothbrush warehouse. All I'm saying is, Biento, you should be like, you know what, my guy? We respect you. Just send us some wings. That's all we need. Just to let you know, don't come at the best or next times we taking those Jordans. That's what you should have done.
You know what?
I don't know. I just think wings wouldn't have gotten the point across.
Or at least, like,
am I wrong?
I was going to say, you should have made him just do the Rob Parker thing where you just get the on-discount Nikes, you know?
Stop.
Well, I was afraid of that. Like, Rob, I mean,
Alex,
Rob got me some Bordens, not Jordans, some Bordens.
Alex, I'm taking your Jordans for Christmas back
stop
now.
it.
You know?
I didn't even wear the Bordens and the sole was
No
wearing
way,
out.
no how,
Oh, my
Rob.
goodness. Keep it locked, Odd Couple.
Some cars are comfy on the inside but don't have power on the outside. And some cars have the horsepower but none of the comfort. I used to think there weren't any cars that were the total package. But that all changed when I got my Honda SUV. It's rugged and sophisticated. And right now, Honda has deals on the entire Honda SUV lineup. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Passport, you name it. So if you're looking for a car that's the total package, the only place you'll find it is at your local Honda dealer. Hurry before they're all gone.
Here Comes the Break is the groundbreaking podcast sparking real conversations about creativity, mental health, hope, and music. Asante Black stars as Ruben in a fictional narrative featuring real interviews with emerging artists.
What advice would you give the families and parents about supporting a teenager that wants to pursue the arts?
If you see they're dedicated and you see that they really mean it and their grades are good, then let them do it, man.
Listen to Here Comes the Break on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Steven Jackson, co-host of the podcast All the Smoke, a production of The Black Effect and iHeartMedia in partnership with Showtime. Each week, my brother Matt Barnes and I, two NBA champions, sit down with the biggest names in sports and culture.
I could say I did it my way. Guy represents the culture, the hood, and I want all of the kids, especially the big kids, to look at me and see how I did it.
Join Matt and I every week for All the Smoke to hear interviews you won't get anywhere else. Subscribe on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.